Hello and welcome back to State of a Nation. I'm Eylon Levy. If you are a loyal follower of this podcast, you might be wondering where we've disappeared. State of a Nation is currently on hiatus and we will be relaunching soon with a new format, a new studio, a new look. It'll be more casual and conversational just like this. But the work has to go on. We are now 22 months into the October 7th hostage crisis and 50 hostages are still trapped in the dungeons of Gaza. At least 20 of them still alive, shackled, tortured, starved. One of them is Elkana Bohbot. Elkana was abducted from the Nova Music Festival on October 7th, and only a few months ago, the Hamas terror regime released proof of life of him struggling in the tunnels of Gaza. I'm joined today by his wife, Rebecca Bohbot, who started speaking up recently, shouting, calling out for her husband's release, demanding that the state of Israel bring him home, him and the rest of the hostages. She joins me now in this special emergency episode that we're filming at the M10 studio in Habima Square, Tel Aviv. Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before we talk about Elkana the hostage and Rebecca the hostage's wife, let's take a step back. Tell me who your husband is, how you met, how you came to Israel, because you're not originally from here.
Okay. My husband has right now 36 years. I met him around 10 years ago, first time that I came to Israel.
From Colombia?
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia, the country, not Columbia, the university we don't like.
No, Colombia. I met him in Jerusalem. In the first time he saw me and he told me that with you I will have something special. So I was just thinking like it's another guy just want to start with me. And then I fly back to Colombia because I was here just for Ulpan, Kibbutz, just for learn a little bit Hebrew. And then I come back to Colombia. I was there 1 year. In meantime, Elkana was working in London. I decided to make Aliyah in...
What was he doing in London?
He was working in Hebrew. They say locksmith.
A locksmith, okay.
Yeah. It's also in English the same word, right?
Yep,
right?
It's an English word.
So I decided to make Aliyah in 2016. When I come back to Israel, I figured out that he was in a relationship, so I just don't want to be, I just want to respect. And I saw him that I called him. I told him, let's meet. I'm here in Israel. How are you, Elkana? And he said, welcome to Israel. How are you? Say, let's meet. Let's drink something. And say, okay, I will call you back. And he never called me. So I figured out that he was in a relationship. And then, my life, his life, we never been in touch. And 1 year later, so I started to live in a new apartment. He helped me to move all my things, my stuff. And after 4 months, he proposed me to marry him. Just 4 months of relationship, as he says, I want you to be my wife.
So you got married when?
In October in
2018. 2018, and then you had your son, Ram.
2020.
2020.
Corona baby.
Who's now 5. Now, many of the victims of the October 7th massacre, many of the hostages were residents of the kibbutzim, Nir Oz, Nachal Oz, Kfar Aza, Be'eri. They'd been living next to the Hamas regime for years. They could see it out of their window. They knew Hamas was trouble. They were warning that something was going to happen, and they'd lived for years under threat of rocket attacks. But your husband was one of the hostages abducted from the Nova Festival, who had no connection to that part of Israel. Really, really, really the worst time, the worst place. Tell me what he was doing at the Nova Festival, how he happened to be there in the south of Israel when the war started.
The story is very crazy because my husband was only started to open a scream shop on the market here in Tel Aviv, in Shuka Carmel, Tel Aviv. 4 months before the festival, the 7th of October, the organizers of the festival called my husband and to his best friends too. The name are Osher and Michael Bagni, that they murdered that day. 4 months ago, the organizers say, "Let's come. We want you to be in the festival, just to make you. You need to go to the light. The people has to know you about your small project that they have. They always make like underground parties for the trans for
Not
many
my scene.
years, so
Yeah.
many years. So for me, it was like a surprise because I didn't marry Elkana as a man of parties that organize parties. I wanted my husband like be home, do good job, make your hours.
And he gets called to be one of the party organizers for the Nova
Yes,
Festival?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the way that Elkana gets to the party. He was very, very excited with his friends. That day, I remember the Friday, 6th of October. He was very excited, was nervous. He told me one month before that the party will be in the Gaza, very close to the Gaza, to the border.
Did that worry you?
No. Jay said, no, everything is okay. No, the call is silent right now. No war, no problems. I was worried about if my husband will make money or not money because we don't know if all the people gonna go to that party. I was really worried about that my husband got disappointed about all these things. But I say, God bless you. You're gonna do it. You're gonna make a beautiful party. And it was.
And so you go to sleep on the night of the 6th of October, and the biggest worry is not a terrorist army invading from Gaza and slaughtering Israelis at a music festival. It's whether the festival is going to be a commercial success. When do you understand that something is wrong?
And then 7th October in the morning, my mother-in-law wake me up. I was in her house. And she told me, Rivka, in Hebrew, wake up. I never understand what has happened. The day before, Elkana told me, come with me to the party, I want you to come with me. I say, no, you're going to work. I want to be with Raem, my son, with your parents. It's Simchat Torah, it's a holiday. My friends from the neighborhood are coming. They will pick you up, eat with my parents, leave Raem with them. Say, no. When my mother-in-law wake me up the day after, I say, I don't understand. She say there is a security situation in the south. It's very near to the party in Raim. So she only wake me up. I never understand.
You didn't wake up from the sirens, from the rockets in the morning?
No, the sirens in the morning start around 8.
And by then she'd already heard that something was going on.
She always wake up and she always stayed on
Because
the television.
Elkana had reached out to say that something was happening.
No, she called him.
She called him.
She called him to Elkana, and he told her, "Mommy, everything is okay. It's a very bad situation right here, but everything is okay." He didn't want to make worry my mother-in-law. And then my mother-in-law wake me up. I just wash my face, and I go to the living room and turn around the TV. That moment, I saw all the Toyota, the cars, with all the army. The army's
The
Hamas.
armed terrorists, not our army, their army.
The terrorists.
Yeah.
So my heart was, I feel that something wrong is happening. I call my husband in 8 and 6 o'clock in the morning. He answered the phone and he told me that everything is okay. He's helping the people get out from there. I say, Elkana, listen to me. It's not about just rockets. There are terrorists. You need to come to the house. He say, I promise you, I will come back to the house. And he say very serious with very powerful words. Like he don't. I feel the security. Like everything is okay. I will come back to the house. Let me do what I'm doing. Everything is okay. I say okay. I feel a little bit relaxed. I say bye. He say bye. Then half an hour later, 1 hour later, I just call him. The telephone is already without signal. Around 10 in the morning, friends of my husband start to call me if I know where is Elkana, if I'm with Elkana, if I'm okay. But there were so many calls. I feel that something that all the people that is calling me is they know something that I don't know. And then in 12 day, Roy, one of the best friends of Elkana, called me crying, told me, Rebecca, be strong. He was crying, and I said, open the mouth. What happened? My husband is died next to you. What happened? He said, no, there is a video that Hamas shared in Telegram, and he sent me the video, and the first one is my husband.
I remember seeing that video on October 7th from the relative safety of Tel Aviv and understanding that something horrific was happening and we were in the middle of a mass hostage-taking incident. I wonder, since Elkana's abduction into Gaza, have you learned any new details about what exactly happened from eyewitnesses, police? Do we know how exactly he was taken into Gaza? What happened at the festival?
Oad Ben-Ami, that was
he was released in the second ceasefire deal, the second ransom for the hostages, as we call it.
8th of February. He was with my husband 1 year and 2 months. They went together in the tunnels of Gaza. In the beginning, he was with adrenaline. He just tell me that my husband sent me a song to listen, the best things. And
what song did he want you to listen to?
Warrior of Liad Golan, Lochemet.
Because you're a warrior.
There is a big story about that song, but this is the song that he told me. And this was my first sign of life for me. This is crazy to say, because my husband has to be in the house and that's it.
From October 7th, 2023, until Ohad Ben-Ami is released in the ransom of February 2025, the only sign of life you have from Elkana is the video from the moment he was taken into Gaza from the afternoon of October 7th?
Yeah. And my proof of life is when Ohad Ben-Ami called me and told me I went with Elkana. But listen to me, that day that I saw in the television at Oad Ben-Ami, Eli Sharavi and Or Levy, they looked like Holocaust bodies.
They looked like skeletons hobbling out of Auschwitz, yeah.
So I was very worried. I say, please God, that my husband was with them. Just no. And that night, I got the phone call of my, the Maxina,
one of the officers in the army responsible for staying in touch with you.
Oad Ben-Ami was with Elkana, and he told me the good things in the first day, and then he started to tell me about the horrific things. My husband.
Let's open it up. What have we heard from Ohad Ben-Ami about what Elkana is enduring in the tunnels of Gaza?
In the beginning, Elkana was in a house. He was in a room, dark room, with his hands
cuffed.
He's legs.
His legs were chained as well.
Yes, and also in a bag in his face, in his head.
The terrorists put a bag over his head while he's being held in someone's house in Gaza.
In a room. All the time they sit down like this.
He's cuffed
And
with his hands behind his
for
back.
34 days, they never receive enough water, enough food. So one of them say like, so what? We're gonna be like that the rest of the life or the rest of the time? So they start the first release of the first hostages in November 2023, and then they dress up Elkana like a woman, the religious woman, Muslim, and they took him to the tunnels.
I recently translated Eli Sharabi's memoir of Captivity, Hostage. It's the Hebrew version has just become the fastest ever selling book in Hebrew. And he describes many of these details, and he describes being transferred from a house to a tunnel, and on the way being introduced to a woman who turns out to be Almog Sarusi, the hostage who was murdered in September in the tunnel. They also dressed him up as a woman, and that's how they hid the hostages in order to take them into the tunnels. So you're saying that Elkana's held, cuffed, chained, with a bag over his head for the first 50 or so days of the war in a house in Gaza. Then when the first ceasefire happens, that's an opportunity for Hamas to move them underground, because the ceasefire allows Hamas to then move around more freely. Yes. During the ceasefire, they move him underground, and he's been stuck in a tunnel ever since for the last 664 days. What do we know from Oad Ben Ami about the conditions in captivity? Who were they held with? How much food were they given? Sanitary conditions? What do you know? Take us down.
The situation there is very bad. We can see on Oad Ben Ami how it looks in the beginning. They just received two times in the day food, just like a piece of bread. In the another, he said like a soup of lentils.
Lentil soup.
Yes. Very הרבה קופסאות שימורים.
Canned goods.
Yeah, like that. No, this is the way that my husband is surviving. Sometimes
on the good days.
Sometimes in the good days, my husband start with Oad. They start to speak with the Hamas, with the captivity.
With their captors.
Yes. To start to tell them, no, please, something, to be a little bit friendly, because it's the way to survive. So sometimes they give it to him a little piece of chocolate, something small, and all of them just keep this piece of chocolate for a good time. For example, my husband received 2 months before the birthday number 4 of my son, and he keeps this chocolate for this day to say happy birthday to my child. And when Oad tell me that, she just break me. Sorry, I say today I don't want to cry.
But that's extremely moving that even they're in captivity, as they're being starved, as they're being stripped of all human dignity. Yeah. The hostages are finding ways to hold on to a sense of self. Eli Sharabi as well speaks about how they would save a piece of pita in order to make hamotzi on a Friday night, and they would sing Birkat Hamazon together just in order to try to keep onto a semblance of self and identity. And I'm wondering whether you heard from Ohad anything about what the hostages are doing to try to keep sane and buy time in Gaza. What do you do when you're sitting there trapped in a tunnel, chained, with no light at the end of the tunnel?
He say that they know their life. Oad Ben Ami knows me more than I know myself. My husband speak about his family all the time. They just speak. In the beginning they were 3, after they were 6, and then they come back to be three in the tunnel. Like they uni and they separate them, just for the food, and it's the same food for 3 or for 6. So they start to fight sometimes because of the food, and then I'd say like I wanna make a order here. Elkana was worried to go to the captain and to take the food. Or I'd say we're gonna make all these bricks in the same part, and Joseph Ohana was making perfectly, like everyone going to receive the same part. No one gonna take more than the another. Is the way to survive. He explained about they give them like play cards, something like that, and that's it. Like all the time they speak, and the time is gone. They know they have a watch. They given to Elkana a watch that says the date and the hour.
Many of the hostage families have been very vocal from the beginning and have campaigned for all the hostages, but especially for their sons, daughters, husbands, wives. And for a long time you didn't. It took you a long time to open up and start speaking in the media at the hostage rallies. And I'm wondering why. Why did you make that choice not to be on the front line speaking up publicly?
Okay, this is a question that always all the people ask, and I need to say that the way for me to make this fight for my husband is the way that I am from Colombia, and President Gustavo Petro, is very pro-Palestine. So I fly to Colombia. My husband received a passport from Colombian because of me.
Sorry, when did your husband get Colombian nationality?
1 month after his abduction.
This is interesting. I didn't know this. After he was abducted, the Colombian government gave him Colombian citizenship?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Because I am Colombian. And I speak to all the media in Colombia because my mother, my language is, I'm from Colombia, I speak Spanish. For me, it was very difficult to speak in Hebrew more. I feel that in the beginning I never be secure to speak, even in English.
Because of the language barrier?
In the beginning, there is a lot of situation. This is one of them. And then
but hang on, I'm fascinated in this. the fact you were able to get your husband a Colombian passport. Did you have to fight for that? But with the Colombian authorities very pro-Palestinian.
They are pro-Palestine, and they say if Elkana get another passport, is get the citizenship from Colombia, and this way he can get out from there. We're gonna give to him. If you go to the rules, because if you want to get this passport, you want to be Colombian, you need to live in Colombia 5 years. You want to be married of a Colombian girl. So they took all the rules, all the things that he has. Elkana right now has the citizenship and he's Colombian.
That's extraordinary and very sad to hear, because the whole point of having our own Jewish state is that it's meant to protect us and keep us safe, and having a foreign passport is not meant to give you any special privileges over anyone.
In the beginning, people say a lot of hostages made another passport because they say if Israel is not going to bring them home, we need to take. I need to go and go to any door, and I know that one window we're gonna open.
And it worked for Idan Alexander. because he was released as an American citizen as a special gesture to the United States because of his passport, and that was very controversial in Israel. I mean, at the end of the day, if anyone gets out, doesn't matter what the reason is and how they're able to get out. They got out, and that's amazing. But in your husband's case, it didn't work. He was given a Colombian passport at the beginning of the war, and he's still trapped there. Why do you think it didn't work?
I don't know. It's a president that is asking to Hamas, that is not a government, bring me that Colombia and bring me Elkana, because Elkana is also
Did the Colombian government make that demand?
Israel.
It demanded from Hamas to release Elkana?
Yep.
And
even in the social, even in the Twitter, X, the Facebook, Instagram, everything.
And he's not the only foreign national. There is Omri Miran has Hungarian citizenship.
Yeah.
There's the body of a Tanzanian hostage. There's a Nepali hostage who's still in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of the other Israelis have dual nationality.
Yeah. What happened with that Alexander was crazy. That how a President Trump has.
And he was a soldier. And he got out because of an American passport.
Yeah, that for me was insane. I couldn't understand, but thanks God he's here. All the hostages. Olam Mumlo.
Rebecca, you started speaking out in Hebrew after Hamas released the first proof of life since the original video when Elkana was abducted.
Around
in
the release of the humanitarian list.
Right.
I decided that I need to speak. My husband needed to be here. He's a father. He's a humanitarian. He has asthma. So even I want to go a little bit back. In the beginning, we decided not to speak aloud because we didn't want to put my husband on the front. We just want to keep him safe. Like, it's not so important. So, I don't want to say names because I have to give all the respect for all the families of the hostages.
100%.
They are fighting, and we are going through every day is the most terrible thing that a human can handle every day. But as a family, we decide let's work behind.
Because just to explain to some of the listeners who maybe don't understand some of the dynamics here, there is a fear, and this is criticism that is made to some of the hostage families as good faith advice, that maybe if you are publicly campaigning about a particular hostage, you raise the price for his release because Hamas then thinks they're more valuable and they can demand more to get out because they're a famous hostage.
But
that was the fear?
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is the release of the humanitarian list. I decide that I need to start to speak because it's the weight. I need to speak who is Elkana, what Elkana make in that party, what Elkana make when all the war started.
Because you're saying he should be on the humanitarian list. He should be released for humanitarian reasons because he's an asthmatic.
Exactly. And then I'd say I need to I need to start to speak about my husband. And then Hamas make me that surprise that his band by self make my husband in the front. Because I received 4 videos of proof of life.
4 videos?
From Elkana is the most...
I thought there was 1 video.
No, I have 4. The beginning was in the March, 2 days after I think his birthday, because I was in the
This was the first proof of life. Yeah.
With Joseph Ohana. The second one
and then they released
the only one he speak and he say that he's making this he requests to Hamas to make this video. They don't ask him to make anything. The true one, my husband was in after I remember was in Pesach, in Passover, that my husband make like a simulation of a phone call, and he speak to me, speak to my son, speak to his mother, to his brothers, and the last one is Joseph Ohana with my husband. My husband is in the bed, And Ohana is speaking about my husband, that my husband doesn't want to live anymore, that he is hurting himself, and also he's hurting the others. And the situation is very bad of my husband.
How does it make you feel? Because I'm sure the feelings are mixed. When you get a video that on the one hand is proof of life, he's alive, there's a human being who is breathing and is worth fighting for and can be rehabilitated and can be free, but on the other hand is apparently self-harming and having suicidal thoughts. What goes through your head when you see a video like that?
The first video, I saw that my husband doesn't look good. His this part of his body doesn't move.
His shoulder.
The shoulder, sorry. I saw that his face was. My husband is always. He's not fat. He's always a slim boy. So I saw like his face, something
like a puffiness.
Yes, like I don't know that they make it.
He looks ill.
Yeah, exactly. So I start to cry, even and say, "Thank God, it's a proof of life." But this is not the way that I want to see my husband.
Yeah.
This is terrible. This is harsh. In the another videos, I saw my husband a little bit better, but very angry. Very, that the ego that he broke his t-shirt. He go to the NIF and say, please take me from here. Like, why they make you to do this kind of videos? And the fourth one, the last one, my husband is in the bed. My husband doesn't speak. It's not a bed, it's a mattress. And my husband, they put in the walls a picture, this picture, the Hamas.
A picture of him with your son,
so
Ra'em.
They put this picture next to him, like, look the boy that you can hug. Look the boy that you can see grow up.
They put that on the wall of the tunnel where they're filming this propaganda
in the last
video.
If you see it clearly, you see the picture in the wall. So I say, my husband is suffering. He's looking the boy, a little boy that now is a child, speak. That every day is asking when my daddy is is come back.
What does Ra'em know? What are you telling him?
Listen, Ra'em everything is very dynamic with him. Ra'em right now has the age that he loves to start to understand about the murder. He say like he doesn't want to die. This is the word that Ra'em says.
Your 5-year-old says, I don't want to die.
Because they start to understand about what is die, when the people get older and they die.
Okay.
So he told me a lot of the conversation there in the car when I just pick out my son from the kindergarten, and he did one of the last ones say like, I don't want to die, and I start to speak to explain him that this happen when the people grow up, when we are older, not now. Like, I don't want to give so much information. I just want to keep him.
But what does he know about where his father is and what happened to him?
So Ra'em says my husband is going to my daddy will come back older. Like, when is my husband? In the beginning, we told him that Elkana get lost the first days. Elkana, by a lot of people. I didn't even remember because I feel that it's a blackout for me the first days. I I don't know where it was Rain with him. I remember like small things
But you told him Daddy got lost.
in the beginning, and then the 1 month, I 2 weeks before I started to speak with a psychologist. So she told me that Rem needs to know the truth, because Rem is not the guy, the children that is looking the war on the television and the TV, and all the family just want to keep them and to show that there is everything is okay. No, Rem is waiting for his father. His father just go Friday noon, and his father never come back. We make like a special of play with with Playmobil, with a lot of people. We explain like the daddy. The way you communicate with the child is play with the hand. You need to play with the children. Games. This is the way to explain and to show them the word. To explain something specifically. You understand?
So you explained that you've told him that terrorists took his father hostage?
In a good way. Daddy wake up in the morning. We put a card. The toy, like it looks like the Barbie's game with the Kent's game. Daddy wake up. Daddy get dressed up. Get to the car. Go to the work. And then bad people get to the place and take Daddy with a lot of persons. And in the game, we put two alert, like they look like penguin. Like we want to separate the good persons to make the lazo de tafrada.
To separate.
To separate who is the good and who is the bad.
And the penguins are the good people or the bad?
The bad.
The penguins are the bad people.
The bad.
Okay.
They in the game even they don't have face. So we show that the penguins close them, and they are in the they are together. Elkana is with a lot of people. They close them, and Rain just take a little bit helicopter from the army because we want to show him the hope. And then he just throw out the penguins and open the door, and he look at me and say, "Mommy, I want to go home." This is the way that I explained to Rem that his daddy is a hostage. And then everything is dynamic. The last time that I sit with him and explain him was in the release of the humanitarian list, that I know that all the people in Shabbat is gonna start to wait, and even with my family's husband keeps Shabbat, the TVs on. Where is the people
to watch the hostages coming out?
Of course,
with sick ceremonies and parades.
Of course. I don't know what I wanted to see because I was broken, but I needed to tell him, to explain to Rem that his father is a hostage in Gaza. This is the last way. Where is my daddy? Your daddy's in Gaza. Where is Gaza? I make a map, I found in the phone, and I show him. He say, "Mama, but it's very close. Mamash kov." I say, "Yes, but we don't know exactly where in Gaza is daddy, and I can't go to bring him. We are waiting for the army, the helicopters, and all the time I make like the beautiful history that he will meet his father very soon. But for Rem, it's a lot of time.
An eternity for a child for whom this is
for me, it's eternity.
2/5 of his life already. Rebecca, let's talk a little bit about the efforts to try to get the hostages out. It's day 664 of the war and the October 7th hostage crisis. A quick update for listeners who perhaps have not been following the news. There were negotiations between Israel and Hamas on a ceasefire. They were taking place in Doha. Israel had accepted the proposal for a ceasefire that was put forward that was going to be a temporary ceasefire of 60 days in exchange for 10 living hostages, 18 bodies, and we don't know whether Elkana would have been on that list of hostages released in the first stage, right?
Right.
If the ceasefire had gone ahead, he might have been released in the first stage, or he might have been kept by Hamas as a bargaining chip for future negotiations. Those talks collapsed. Those talks collapsed because, according to reports from the negotiations, Hamas started increasing its demands. They were even demanding the release of Nukhba terrorists, Hamas special forces who took part in the October 7th massacre. They were demanding their release in order to get the hostages back. Blew up the talks, and I think the general consensus is the reason that Hamas stepped back from the talks is that it was benefiting from a lot of the international pressure on Israel, particularly the campaign, allegations of starvation in Gaza, caused leaders around the world to put pressure on Israel, and Hamas then said, well, we're enjoying watching Israel squirm, watching it stuck in the mud. We have no reason to give it a ceasefire and release the hostages. So they pulled out of talks. And then if you thought it couldn't get worse, the British government announced a policy that it really takes some skill to do something that pleases absolutely nobody. They threatened to recognize a Palestinian state in September if the war doesn't end. And they're basically telling Hamas, if you hold on to the hostages and refuse to release them, and this war drags on, we'll recognize a Palestinian state and we'll give you a reward. If you release the hostages and the war ends, then we won't recognize a Palestinian state and you won't get your reward. And it's a crazy, perverse incentive that the British government now is giving to Hamas. Basically, Keir Starmer is telling Hamas, hold on to the hostages and we will reward you. And I wonder that the Hostage Families Forum was extremely critical of Keir Starmer and the British government, saying this is rewarding terrorism. It's encouraging future terrorism as well, because it says terrorism works. And I wonder, from your perspective, how did you feel when you saw that news of Britain essentially rewarding that act of hostage taking and telling Hamas, if this war drags on, because you drag it on, we're going to recognize a Palestinian state and give you a reward?
Look, I don't like to start a conversation about political things because it's not I don't know anything about this. I know that the war just leave people like my husband that is
A victim.
a victim. And I know that from the other side there is a lot of victims. This is not everything is Hamas. Hamas is making a very, very difficult war. And I was very hopeful about this ceasefire and everything is gonna be okay. I know 10 alive. Just start. Let's do something. But now with all I see in the TV, it's crazy. I feel like it's the end of the war. It's the end of סוף העולם, זה מה שנקרא.
The end of the world.
Yeah. It's very difficult. I even don't have any more words for to say that we are passing for the worst thing that a human can pass in his life. Me and another 49 families that I'm waiting for his loved ones. And this is the price of this war.
Rebecca, to wrap us off, the people watching this episode will be supporters from around the world who are at their wits' end asking, what can we do from afar to help the hostages, to help the hostages' families? What do we need to, what stickers, what dog tags, right? what T-shirts, what do we need to do? Where do we need to protest? What can we say? If perhaps you want to speak to the camera and appeal to Supporters in the Jewish diaspora, allies around the world who want to help you, want to help the hostages. What's your message to them? What can they do? Yep.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you because you are watching me, you are listening to my history. This is a real history. I just want you to speak about the hostages. Don't give us back. We want that until the last hostage came back to the house. We want the end of all this suffering. This is unbearable. To go every night alone to my bed with my son. My husband deserves a good food. My husband deserves a good shower that he doesn't get for a lot of time. The most important thing here is about the hostages, and I please follow me in Elkana. Bring Elkana home. This is my Instagram. He's my husband's Instagram account. You can follow. You can share all the history, all my families, everything about my husband. The world needs to know who is Elkana, and please also for all the hostages. Just do it for the humanity. My husband was in a party of love. The other ones was in a house. They don't have any part of this world. They need to come back home.
Bottom line, keep talking about the hostages, keep sharing their stories. Yes. I know it feels like treading water, but there are people around the world who have forgotten about the hostages, and a lot of very powerful forces who are trying to make people forget about the hostages as well, so they can try to force an end of this war with the hostages still trapped in Gaza, and we won't allow that to happen. Rebecca Bohbot, you shared there the details for how people can stay in touch. The Instagram page is?
Bring Elkana home.
Bring Elkana home.
Yeah.
Okay. Rebecca Bohbot, what can I say? Here with you till the last hostage is free. Anything you need, and I'm sure I speak for all our listeners as well when I say we're here to support you until Elkana and all the other hostages are free and you're reunited as a family. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your invitation. Thank you so much.
And that brings us to the end of this special episode of State of a Nation with Rebecca Bohbot, wife of Elkana Bohbot, who has been a hostage trapped in Gaza for 664 days. As always, if you are enjoying, not the right word in this context, but appreciating this podcast, please subscribe on whatever platform you're following on. If it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a like on social media. Follow on social media, State of a Pod, and you can follow me as well, Eylon Levy, across all social media platforms. Keep speaking out for the hostages. They need you, and their families need you. Thank you very much.